Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Today I am at long last going to be taking a look at this little monster, the E-25 German Tier 7 Premium Tank Destroyer. Now, if you don't want to sit here waiting, listen to me blather on about the tank, and looking at the stats of the thing in the garage, you just want to get straight to the action, yeah, that's fine. Totally understand. Pop-up appearing on screen right now, and there's also a time code in the video description. Click on either one of them and you'll go straight to the gameplay in the video. Off you go. Okay, they've gone. Now it's just us. This machine, the E-Series development of German tanks. You've got the E-25, the E-50, the E-75, the E-100. The whole point behind this E-Series of tanks was just to standardize manufacture and construction of German armoured fighting vehicles. So, for example, instead of having a whole bunch of different tank destroyers being made in different factories with different expertise being used on each of them, they would only have the one tank destroyer that they were building. So instead of having machines like the Stug, the Hetzer, or the Panzerjäger 38T to give it its proper name, the Nashorn, the Ferdinand, the Jagdpanther, machines like this, they would all German industry would just be building E-25 tank destroyers, and the same with the E-50. Instead of building Panthers and Panzer IVs and so on, they would just be building E-50s and E-75s for the heavy tanks and so on, in order to standardize manufacture so that, you know, any workforce in any factory could build any one of these vehicles. That was the whole point. And for tank destroyers, the E-25 was it. It never actually, they never even built a prototype of these things. It was design blueprints only. And looking at this thing on paper, before I had a chance to drive it, I couldn't see this thing being very good. But again, this is one of those machines where the paper stats just do not tell you the whole story. And the reason why I couldn't see this thing being very good was because of the gun. It uses that 75mm Pak 42 L70 cannon that you also get down here at Tier 5 on the Stug 3. And that's a fantastic gun on the Stug. But the Stug's Tier 5. This is a Tier 7 tank destroyer. And I just couldn't see it being effective. Oh, how wrong could I be? It was the same deal when I looked at the IS-6. I thought the armour of the IS-6 on paper looked rubbish, but it's the angling and the sloping of the armour that makes the IS-6 work. And this, while technically it is exactly the same gun that you get on the Stug, it's really not the same gun at all. Have a look at the damage per minute. 1,800 damage per minute using that gun on the Stug. 2,700 damage per minute using that gun on the E-25. The reason is because of the rate of fire. As you can see, they're both gun 7.5cm Pak 42 L70. But here on the Stug, it has 13.33 rounds per minute. Now, that's not bad. 20 rounds per minute on the E-25. That's the difference. That's a shot every 3 seconds. That's phenomenal. It has exactly the same damage and penetration, 150 penetration, 135 damage, because it's the same gun. But it's, while it had fantastic accuracy and aiming time on the Stug, 0.33 accuracy and 1.7 seconds aiming time, it's even better on the E-25. 0.3 accuracy and a 1.5 second aiming time. It's phenomenally quick to aim, very accurate and rapid firing. It's like driving an ELC AMX with an autocannon. It's so much fun to drive. Did I say it was like driving an ELC AMX? Well, yeah, have a look at the stats. 830 hit points. Now, this is a tiny little machine. Let's have a look at the other German Tier 7 tank destroyer. The Jagdpanther. That has 850 hit points. It's only 20 hit points more. Well, look at the size difference. It's tiny. The, I still don't know how to pronounce the name of this thing. The 5, also 850 hit points, and it's massive. This thing is quite little. In fact, let's have a look at an ELC AMX. Where is that little monster? They're almost the same size. And as far as mobility goes, get a load of this. This thing only weighs, well, with my equipment set up, 26.75 tons, and it has a 700 horsepower engine. This thing will do 65 kilometers per hour, and it reaches that speed in a heartbeat. It is so fast to accelerate. The traverse speed, 44 degrees per second. There are light tanks in the game that wish they could turn as quickly and move as quickly as this little beast. Of course, it doesn't have any armour whatsoever. 50mm at the front, 30 at the sides and rear. And yet, while you should never count on the armour of this thing to keep you safe, well, let's have a look at the Hetzer, the Tier 4 tank destroyer, and you can see that it pretty much looks like a sort of flattened and squashed version of the Hetzer. And anybody who's had the misfortune of firing at the Hetzer from the front will know just how bouncy the front of this thing can be. Well, it's the same with the E-25, but even more so, because it's a smaller, flatter, even more sloped target. So you should never count on the armour. I mean, something with 50mm at the front, 30 at the sides and rear, you shouldn't count on the armour to protect you, but you will be surprised at the amount of shots that will bounce off the front of this thing, just when you really don't want them to. View range, again, not bad, 360 metre view range for such a small, closed-top vehicle. You don't expect a machine as low profile and sneaky as this to have that good a view range. I mean, that's the sort of view range that you associate with open-topped tank destroyers. And a very, very good 710 metre signal range too. But I still had lingering doubts about that 75mm gun, because at the end of the day it's still the Stug 3's 75mm gun, Tier 5 tank destroyer, and you can buff the rate of fire all you like. If you can't penetrate because you only have 150mm of penetration, then what you're doing is failing to penetrate more often than with the same gun on the Stug. But I really needn't have worried. Because of the accuracy buff and the aiming time, you can aim for weak spots. If you have to shoot at the front of Tiger 2s with this thing, and you will from time to time have to shoot at the front of Tiger 2s with this thing, you can hit his weak spots. It's accurate enough. And the low alpha damage of 135 average damage doesn't really matter, because you pump the shots out so fast and so often. And that's one of the other advantages that this thing has over the Stug, because it carries a lot of ammunition. 60 shells. The Stug, I've lost games in the Stug because I ran out of ammo. The Stug only carries 36. I've had games in the Stug that have been going great, and I've racked up loads of kills, and then I was the last one left alive, and I was out of ammo, and I just couldn't kill any more tanks. That doesn't happen in the E-25, because it gets a good ammo load as well, 60 shots. This little thing is so much fun to drive. It is quite literally like driving an ERC AMX with an autocannon. It fires that quickly, and it is that fast and manoeuvrable. One of these little things will set you back 6,700 gold, and that's roughly equivalent to 2.5 months worth of premium account time. Now, don't expect it to make as much money, for example, as a Tier 8 premium like the Jagdtiger 88 or the Löwe. But it will make you a substantial amount of money, because it does get a credit bonus, not as much as a Tier 8 premium. But it's not the credit bonus that is going to make the money in this thing, it's the sheer amount of destruction that you wreak upon the enemy team in it. Because that's what gets you credits and XP, doing lots and lots and lots of damage. And you will do that if you're even halfway competent at driving your E-25. It's also cheap as chips to run, because the ammunition only costs you 109 credits per shot. Yeah, fire as much as you like. It's not going to cost you anything. This thing is very cheap to run. It does immense amounts of damage to the enemy team. It earns a lot of money. Now, as far as equipment fit goes, it doesn't really need a gun rammer. It fires a shot every 3 seconds anyway, but firing a shot faster than every 3 seconds is always good, so yeah, go ahead and fit a gun rammer. It's a closed-top vehicle, so you're going to get the benefit from improved ventilation for an extra 5% to all crew skills. For your third choice, if you can afford it, well, I've put a camo net on because they're cheap, and so am I. And I had a spare camo net. And that's not a bad idea. Right? This is a very, very sneaky little machine, in the same way that the Hetzer is, and the Stug. However, I think you are probably going to get more benefit from coated optics or binocular telescope. Again, if you've got spare binocular telescopes, because that is not a complex piece of equipment, you can demount it and stick it on other vehicles if you wish, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. Binocular telescope, if you have a spare one lying around, not a bad idea to put one on this thing. It does get a 360 meter view range, but an extra 25% when you're stationary is not bad. And there will be situations where you're playing this thing like a traditional tank destroyer, sitting in ambush and letting the rest of your team go ahead and spot for you. And the extra view range from the binocular telescope is good. But if you have the money, I think you're going to get much more benefit out of the coated optics. Coated optics, complex equipment. Once you fit them to the machine, you have to pay gold to take them off. But you keep the view range bonus of 10% all times, even when you're moving. And this thing is just so fast. Sitting still, you're just wasting the potential of this little thing. It loves to roam. Let it off the leash. Have fun with it. Coated optics, in my opinion, better choice than binocular telescopes. As far as crew skills go, they're irrelevant. You are never going to be using your own crew on the E-25. It's a premium vehicle. It will take any other German tank destroyer crew. You will not have to retrain them. For example, at the moment I've got my Jagdtiger crew in here. Note it says there, the crew member does not have specialisation on the E-25, but he can use his skills and perks because he's a German tank destroyer crewman. And that's the way premium vehicles work. And one of the other, not so much advertised, I don't really want to call it a hidden benefit, but it's one of the benefits of running premium vehicles. So for example, I can take any German tank destroyer crew, I could take the Stug crew and stick them in the E-25. I wouldn't have to retrain them on the E-25. I could play a whole bunch of E-25 games, or just play one E-25 game until I get my daily double crew XP for my Stug crew on the E-25, put them back in the Stug, play again until I get my first win of the day on the Stug, double crew XP again. And that's one of the benefits of running a premium vehicle. But I can tell you're not convinced yet. I can tell you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know, Jingles. I mean, yeah, it looks like a nice machine, but that gun, it's still, it's still that 75mm gun that you first get at Tier 5. I mean, how good can it be at Tier 7? Oh, ye of little faith. Watch and learn. Sometimes you get into one of those games that is over so fast, where your team just steamrollers the opposition, totally ruffle stomps them. And if you're in a machine like a TOG or one of the Churchills, the game's just over before you can even fire your gun at anything. In that kind of game, you want to be in a machine like the E-25. Myself and Quickie Baby and Ike are all platooned up here. Ike doesn't actually have an E-25, which is, in a bizarre twist of fate, I actually have the Norwegian flag on my E-25. Ike is Norwegian, and he has to drive a Panther M10. Sucks to be him. Quickie Baby's right up there, like a rat up a drain pipe, as he always is, so he gets the initial spots off. Lays the hurt into that 3001H, sets him on fire, finishes him off, takes the kill. You'll notice I'm doing almost 40 kilometers an hour coming up this hill. I'm going to pull the camera back here, do an external camera view, just so you can get an appreciation of what's going on up here. Nailed an A20. Now we're working over this enemy E-25. Sherman Jumbo up there has just been killed as well. So far there's only us two E-25s up here. Although our artillery did finish off the Jumbo. KV-1S looking for backup. He's taking a hit from something there. Quickie Baby come. Oh, a little bit of lag spike there. And now a Panzer 4S gets involved as well. And that E-25 hasn't been finished off. Concentrate on fire. Take out the KV-1S. Now the E-25. and then the Panzer IVs. And as quickly as that, we're winning 9-1. Now, can you imagine being in this game in something like a Mark 1 or a Mark 3 Churchill or a Black Prince or, heaven forbid, a Tog? You would have barely left the cap circle and the game's already over. This is the kind of game that an E-25 really excels in. And that little 5916, which is not a very good tank. Again, you know, the kind of machine... Oh, watch this shot. Watch this shot on the ELC. Right. Wait for him to come over the ridge. He goes airborne. Hit him in midair. Oh, man. And all they have left is a 3001P and an AT7. I was lagging a little during this game. You see some strange things happening every now and then. Tanks rubber banding, like that AT7 did. He sort of lurched forward and then back. That was just lag. Well, at this sort of range, I'm unlikely to penetrate an AT7 even from the side. So, a 3001P. Not exactly over-endowed with massive amounts of armour, so I'll go after him. This 5916's making him look stupid. While he's concentrating on the 5916, we will steal the kill. And Quickie Baby also nails the AT7. Yeah, that was alright. Yeah, that'll do. The two E-25s kicking off. I mean, Quickie Baby in particular. He's just that much a better player than I am. But, you know, I got more kills than him, so I win. Kill stealing like a boss. And look at the profit. Alright, it's with the premium account, but 53,000 credits profit. It took no damage and fired 15 shots, and it only cost me 1,600 credits to rearm this thing. The ISU costs 1,600 credits every time you fire a shot. This thing is cheap as chips to run. Well, you couldn't really ask for better matchmaking. And this is a fairly good map for the E-25 as well. In this game, we're going to play it more like a traditional sneaky tank destroyer. Well, two of us are anyway. Myself and Pointy-Haired Jedi. Circumflexes, he is going to scout in his E-25. He's pinging the map there. He's saying, head for the bush, head for the bush. I'm like, okay, we'll head for the bush. What bush? The bush at the sniping spot. Okay. What sniping spot? It's there, god damn it, there. Okay, but which way? Facing to the right. Just look, just drive up, and there's a bush. Okay, so I had no idea what he's talking about, and then there's a bush. I had no idea this spot existed. And if you look at the map, you can see Circumflexes. He's heading up around to the north, and he's basically going to flush all these targets out for us, and we can snipe them as they head up the hill. That's the plan, anyway. I had no idea this spot existed. Oh my god, suddenly a wild AMX-12T appears. And shoot it, kill it! Did I just bounce off the AMX-12T? Oh, set him on fire. And make sure of it. There's my first kill. Hooray, 460 damage. There's an A43. No, I'm going to need to lead him a little bit more than that. Sirkin's going to have to deal with that A43 himself. And here comes a Comet. And I don't really have a shot from here. Nope. Gonna have to back up. Ah, there we go. Now Jedi's got shots. And you have the ammo capacity with the E-25 to do things that would get you into trouble if you were driving a Stug. Like blaze away and destroy people's cover. 60 rounds of ammo, why not? A43's broken cover. There he is, we've got him now. The rate of fire on this gun is nothing short of spectacular. We couldn't quite kill him. And that Comet's just popped up again. I'm going to have to change my position to get shots on him. Jedi seems to be in a better spot for the... Oh, hello. I'm slipping and sliding down the slope. No, stay still, damn you. Stay still. Taking shots at the last known position of that A43. Trying to flush him out. Still got 45 rounds of ammo left. Zircon's moving up. There's the Comet again. Jedi's got shots at him. I don't. I'll take a few shots, try to blast his car. Oh, there's the A43 again. Gun elevation, not fantastic. So, there we go. And he's dead. Yak Panzer IV killed him. Wait a minute. Yak Panzer IV getting killed? Is he allowed to do that? I have to back up to get shots on this Comet again. Don't really have it from here. There we go, that's better. Oh, KV-1S. You almost feel sorry for them. Not enough to, stop shooting, of course. Wow, that's one stealthy KV-1S. Oh, there he is. Not that stealthy. He's doomed now. There's no way he's getting out of there alive. There you go. Kill number 2. Now, Churchill 1. Well, let's remove his cover. And wait for it. There he is, he's backed off.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Tiger round the corner, but Zircon has shots at the Tiger. Jedi's just hit the Churchill, set him on fire. Thinking about going around after this Tiger, but Zircon's got shots at him, so we're going to leave him alone and try to finish off this Comet. The Tiger's gone. The Comet's still up there. There he is. Let's remove his cover. Ah, there he is. There he is. There we go. That's more like it. Had to turn the hull, but look at how quickly it reacquires the target with the aiming time on that gun. Oh, the Comet got Zircons. Oh well, at least he went down fighting. There's only 5 of them left. And we pretty much know where they all are. We just nailed the T-34, 4 of them left. Now there's the Tier 7, the new Tier 7 German tank destroyer. It is right on the other side of that building. And he has a very big 128mm gun. Now I can take a hit from him, but I don't really want to. So I'm going to use my team. I'm going to let the flak bus go first. No, he's going the other way. Okay. Oh, he's not facing this way. Fine. Let's take him out. Looks like he's given up. Oof. That was friendly artillery, almost killing all 3 of us in his haste to get this shot. But he didn't. We lived. I got 3 kills and did 2,000 damage. So, hey, nice. So, yeah, that one wasn't bad. Although, to be completely fair, yeah, I mean, that was a good game, no question about it. 2006 damage done and 3 kills, and he relatively easily got the most XP. But that was down to this man here, Circumflexes, bravely scouting in his E-25, and basically feeding us the kills, which is reflected in his damage upon detecting down there. 1454 spotting damage for circumflexes in his E-25. Bravely lighting up those targets for us to just humiliate from our covered position, using the thing as a traditional tank destroyer. That's not what you're going to see in the next video, however. And the next video, while I didn't do as much damage as I did in this game, you just need to see it. What a carry, man. What a carry. Get a load of this. Well, it's me, Circumflexes and Jedi again. E-25 platoon in a tier 8 game, which is the worst matchmaking you're ever going to see in the E-25. It gets preferential matchmaking. Tier 8 game on Fjords, and the amount of carrying that we had to do in this game, I don't know about the rest of them, but it put my back out for a week. Now there's an ELC AMX on the enemy team. And if you stop and think about it for a moment, probably one of the worst things that could possibly happen to you if you're driving an ELC is to run slap bang into an E-25 platoon. And yes, he is that unlucky. Because you cannot outrun an E-25 in an ELC. So Jedi and Circumflexes are chasing him from behind, and then I pop up in front of him. Now, obviously I don't know what was going through this ELC driver's mind at the time, but I'm betting it started with the letter F and rhymed with duck. So, there's my first kill anyway. And then I pretty much swap positions with Circumflexes here. I head back down here with Jedi, and Circumflexes is going to scoot up north back to where I was. And he gets into a good position to put some flanking fire in on this Super Pershing. And here he comes. Now keep an eye on the map. Remember, this was, well, I'd call them a bit of a donkey team, and that was being generous to them. Enemy heavies are about to punch right through the middle and roll into our base. So Zircon's putting some shots into this Super Pershing. Now, the Super Pershing's given as good as he's getting. And now myself and Jedi have pushed up to the rock on the other side of the Super Pershing. He sees the threat, he starts falling back. We're putting some shots in on his friends behind him as well there. It's around about at this point. I mean, look at the map. The base is about to fall. I hadn't actually noticed this at this point. All I saw was Jedi running away. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Come back, you coward. And then I realised what was going on the map. So myself and Jedi rush back to defend the base. And Zircon is holding back the attack that's coming through on this side. So there you can see Jedi and I withdrawing. And Zircon's assuring us that he's got this flank. Right, he doesn't have a lot of health left, but he can take care of these guys. The Super Pershing's pulled right back, and now he's got flank shots into this Churchill. So he's going to take full advantage of it. The Churchill's not even pointing his gun this way. Churchill goes down, he gets a last shot into that Super Pershing, but doesn't have a lot of health left. Got to be really, really careful. We are, of course, being capped. And he doesn't want to let that Super Pershing get away. So he goes around again for another pass. Yep, pointing his gun the other way. Gets one shot. Gets another one. Super Pershing's pointing his gun here. Third shot misses. Get back, get back, get back. Super Pershing's hit us twice already, and he's about to get outflanked from the north. He's got to get out of here. Meanwhile, back at the base, the enemy team have just herpa-derped their way right across the middle of the map with not one, not two, but 3 tier 7 and 8 heavy tanks. There goes a Tiger. So we start working him over. There's a T-29 and a Tiger 2. So things are about to get interesting. I'm going to stay on the high ground. Jedi's going to go low and around. Around about now, Serkon's breaking off his engagement with that Super Persian because he's about to get outflanked by a T-69, and he's coming back as well. First I've got to spot these guys again. I'm pretty sure the Tiger is still there. Something just spotted me. Now, okay, we got an ARL-44 has come back, bless him. I don't know what our Tier 8 heavies are doing, but our Tier 6 heavies are coming back to, you know, not lose the game. There's the Tiger. Alright, finish him off. And then Jedi, well, there's still a Tiger 2 sitting in the cap circle. Take a punt at him, it bounces. And watch Jedi here. Look at this absolute hero. Just running rings around this Tiger 2. Making him look like an absolute idiot. Look at that. But while we're having fun with this Tiger 2, where did that T-29 go? Here comes Serkon. And he seems to have made a little friend. T-29 is definitely got a hard on for Serkon here. He knows he's a one-shot kill. And that's just making him easy meat for the ARL-44. Who goes down bravely. Oh, and I don't know why that T-29 didn't fire, but it cost him his life. Now myself and Jedi are just pummeling the crap out of this Tiger 2. And Serkon arrives just in time. Ninjas the kill like a boss. However, he knows there's a T-69 coming around from the north. And a whole bunch of other tanks following suit. And given that he's a one-shot kill at the moment, he pulls back to an ambush position and lays up in wait. Note, he is not the one spotting these guys. Right, he can't actually see through these bushes, which means that he can fire and not give his position away. So he's relying on everybody else to spot the targets for him. And you're going to see a lot of this in this game. He's pinging the map where our Tier 8 heavies are just milling around like the useless twats they are, all the way down to the south, and say, look at your map. Defend the base, you donkeys. Get up here. With the base secure for now, and knowing how fast the E-25 is, Jedi and I both decide to hook through the middle, cross the lake, and come up behind the guys who are now posing a fresh threat to the base from the north. That's leaving Serkon defending. All of our Tier 8 heavies are still right down south, comparing battle scars presumably, and we're being capped. Serkon's going to have to take matters into his own hands again. And he's spotted. Has to take cover. Exposing as little of his tank as he possibly can. Got to keep resetting that cap. While he's working over this 3002D, Jedi and I make it around. The T-69 sees which way the cards are falling. He tries to make a run for it. Now, I may have done some damage to myself on the way around by going airborne at an inopportune moment, and then suddenly a wild KV-1S appears. Totally worth it. Yeah, all the damage I took in this game, self-inflicted. But it was all glorious. And chicks dig scars anyway. And there's that T-69. Now his gun's pointing at Serkon, and I'm quite happy with that sort of situation. Unfortunately, I've taken my tracks off again. We get moving. Jedi pounces on this guy. And he's got 3 E-25 shooting at him. Oh, he takes Jedi out. Well, you know, live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse. So, base secure. Again. Oh, the amount of carrying we had to do in this game. I mean, I had to wear a back brace for a month after playing this game. There was that much carrying involved. So, you know, we've fought off an attack on the northern flank, come back, defend the base. Swooped around, had to come back, defend the base again. And now, there's just the one scumbag left to clear up. This was one hell of a game. And yeah, to be fair to our Tier 8 heavies, they did take a beating down on that southern flank from, you know, the 2 enemy Tier 8 heavies that were there that they had to deal with, while we were dealing with all the rest, sitting in our cap circle. But I think I can state with a fair degree of confidence that the heavy lifting in this game wasn't done by the Tier 8 heavies. Now all we need to do is find and eliminate that French artillery. And I fully expected him to be busy throwing himself into the ocean down on that southern spit of land where you can see Zircon heading, but just in case, because I know that people like to hide in these bushes right here and wait for somebody to lumber into the cap circle and then just ruin their day and get themselves a defender medal. So I'm just checking all the corners first. Zircon's waiting in cover for me to assume a covering position here. And then he makes his move and starts investigating. Nothing shoots at him on the way up, so I come around to follow him up. And I was actually genuinely surprised not to see the message, enemy artillery has drowned in battle. And that is usually what happens. I mean, I don't know what it's like on the servers you guys play on, but on this map, in these circumstances, artillery usually drown themselves when they're the last one left. He didn't do it this time though, so respect. Now he's probably right up the top of that hill. And, you know, call me uncharitable, but if he is right up at the top of that hill, that's probably the only reason he hasn't suicided. However, he could still pose a threat to anybody trying to cap. So I figure we can draw him out. He's either hiding up there, or he's lurking up there, waiting to ruin somebody's day once they've accumulated enough invader points. So I invite one of our Tier 8s to go into the cap circle and draw him out. Well, I'm not doing it. Do I look stupid? I don't want to die. That's what the Tier 8 heavies are for. Meanwhile, Zircon's got the same idea. He's hooking around, and he's closing off any avenue of escape this guy might have. And just look at how fast this little thing is. It's like I said, it's an ELC AMX with an autocannon. It fires as often, with better aiming and accuracy, than an AMX 5100, and it doesn't have to sit around for 50 seconds waiting to reload after it's fired 6 shots. There he is. He's got him. Go on, have him. It looks like the guy's given up. He's not even turning around to defend himself. Possibly he's tracked, who can say. Either way, yeah, there he is. He's quit. Justice. What a way to end it. A scumbag kill. Good stuff. How about that for a carry? E-25's just dominating in that game. I mean, circumflexes in particular. Look at that. I thought I was doing well there. Did 1500 damage. 30 shots fired in that game. 25 hits. Circumflexes, 49 shots fired. His gun barrel must have melted. And 3,637 damage. That's just phenomenal. Fantastic game. And again, a monster profit. Fired a lot more shots. so it cost me slightly more but 30 shots fired, 4,000 credits to rearm. You know, it's just ridiculously cheap to run this thing. Fantastic little machine. So, E-25, 6,700 gold, well spent. And this one was actually gifted to me by a subscriber. I can't remember his name. I've had it for a while now. But I did I know he was a Norwegian. I put the Norwegian flags on it in honour of him. This is one of the most fun tanks I've ever driven. I almost always have a good game when I'm driving this thing, win or lose. It's just so much fun. You will not regret it. Particularly if you already have a bunch of German tank destroyers. This thing is fantastic for training your German tank destroyer crews in from other German tank destroyers. I have enjoyed almost, I'm not going to say I've enjoyed every moment of driving this thing, because sometimes your games just suck. That's World of Tanks. But this is one of the most fun machines in the game, in my opinion. I certainly haven't regretted driving it, and I highly recommend it. As always, folks, take care on that battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.